What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. This blog about Assata Shakur being deemed a terrorist, who's reportedly been in Cuba since '84. She's the first female terrorist, or whatever. Okay, so this lady was basically a part of the Black Panther Party, and she was, she was convicted or accused, alleged, all that stuff of shooting a cop and killing a cop. And she went to jail. She escaped. Has went to some safe houses, so they say, and then fled to Cuba since 1984, and now all of a sudden she's a terrorist. She's basically one of the most wanted in America. Okay, here's the thing: people who don't realize they used to call the Black Panthers and the Nation of Islam terrorist groups. They did. So to say she's a terrorist at this particular time, people will lump her in with like somebody at Al Qaeda or some dumb shit like that. But that's not the case. The other thing is, so this lady is, you're mad at her because she killed a cop, or she was supposed to have killed a cop. Last time I checked, wasn't the cops just putting bullets in Black Panthers just because they could and they had badges? So it was. So what I'm saying to this, folks, is you see in 1984, 1974, whatever. I'm going back to '74 when I'm saying that. Not two different times, but in that time period, when the Black Panthers was really making some ground movement, even in the '60s, it was all right for the police to put a bullet in a Panther, no problem. It was all right to put to trump a charge on a Panther that didn't exist, to give him 20, 30 years. See, the cops that murdered a lot of Panthers for no apparent reason, they got promotions. So are you, and for all you people out there who's saying, hey man, are you trying to say that you're praising this woman for killing the cop? No, what I'm saying is, just because you got a badge, don't you can be a murderer with a badge, and nobody says a fucking thing. You know, people watch Dexter all the time. Like if Dexter wasn't a cop, he wouldn't be able to get away with all that shit. He would be quote unquote psychopath, murderous, serial killer. But part of the story is that he can get away with all that shit is the underlying aspect of him being a cop. See, the cops are in that, and that's what I mean. Like, people's quote unquote fake authority doesn't give them the right to kill everybody else. And just because a person says, okay, I'm not gonna die tonight because you think you can kill me and go home to your family and hug your kids and tell your family I love you, and then when you're 55, 60, 70 years old, you get a drinking problem, say I killed all those people just because I could and I had a badge, and now I feel so bad about it, but they've been dead 40, 50 years. Just shut the fuck up. Like, fuck it, fuck you. So my point is, if you're gonna make this lady a terrorist, you need to make these police. You need to also label these police officers who you allowed to keep being police officers, gave promotions to, probably became city council members, some lawyers, some judges, who just like the judge that just got 28 years because he was getting kickbacks for just throwing people in jail for money, whether they were innocent or guilty. Those people aren't terrorists for some odd reason. But if you put a bullet in a motherfucker like that, you're the bad guy. This is the problem. You see, when you deem who's a terrorist and who's not a terrorist, sometimes you need to look in the mirror and see if you are a terrorist. And in a situation like that, a 60, 70-year-old woman in Cuba is now you need to look for because she's a terrorist. Like, motherfucker, America been in Guantanamo Bay for I don't know how fucking long. You could have, if y'all really wanted to catch that woman, y'all could have. If y'all knew she was there since 1984, shit, been trying to kill Castro for shit. Man, I can't. I wasn't even born for how long they've been trying to kill Castro. and he lives in Cuba. You know what I mean? So let's be real, man. Like, if she's a terrorist, police are terrorists. Ku Klux Klan is terrorists. They'll never call that shit a terrorist organization. Sometimes the military is seen as terrorists overseas. Like, let's be fucking honest. If you gonna be truthful all the way. Don't deem yourself as the good guy because you wrote it on a piece of paper and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna tell half the story." Fucker, I know my history. I know your history. I know other people's history. I know when I'm seeing some bullshit, and that's some bullshit. You know. But I'm done with it. Peace.